You're standing at a campsite outside Mudgee, throwing a bag of heat beads onto a rusting grill, $8 from the servo. By midnight, the coals are still glowing orange. 200 kilometers northwest, a man who pulls black coal out of the ground for a living is worth somewhere north of $1 billion. The rock is the same. The distance between you and him is about 30 years, a white hard hat, and 7 levels of a career most Australians never think about until the power bill arrives. This is every level of coal mining in Australia, and what it actually takes to climb. You grow up in the Hunter Valley, or the Bowen Basin, or somewhere outside Singleton, where the light on the horizon at night isn't the city, it's the processing plant running around the clock. Your grandfather worked the mines. Your uncle works the mines. The trucks are so big, they have their own road rules. You leave school at 17 with a rough idea of what you want and a very clear idea of what pays. In regional Queensland and New South Wales, the mines are often the highest paying employer within a 100-kilometre radius. There is no mystery about why people go underground. The money is the mystery. You don't understand it yet. You will. Before you can set foot on a working section, you need your Certificate 2 in surface extraction operations or the underground equivalent. And you need to sit through your general induction training mandated under the Work Health and Safety Act. In Queensland, that means complying with the Coal Mining Safety and Health Act 1999. In New South Wales, it's the Work Health and Safety Mines and Petroleum Sites Act. The legislation exists because people died and the names of the mines where they died are still known. Moora, Kianga, Appin. You learn the rules before you learn the work. That order is not optional. In Australian coal mines, your experience level sits on your head. New workers wear a white hard hat. It tells every person on the section exactly where you are in the hierarchy, and they read it from 30 meters away. Your starting pay as a trainee underground miner sits somewhere around $22 to $25 an hour, depending on the enterprise agreement and the company. BHP, Glencore, Whitehaven, and Yancoal all run their own agreements, and the pay varies. But even at the bottom, it beats the retail wage in town by a significant margin, and the site allowances and roster loadings push the effective rate higher. You ride the drift, the inclined tunnel, down into the section on a manned transport vehicle with 11 other people, none of whom you know yet. The air underground is colder than you expected. The roof is lower. Your cap lamp is the only reason you can see the person in front of you. The first thing they teach you is how to check your self-contained self-rescuer before you ever go anywhere near gas. The second thing they teach you is how to read the ventilation plan. Methane is invisible and odorless. You stop trusting your senses and start trusting the instrument. After a year or two on the tools, hanging ventilation, rock dusting the ribs, cleaning up after the continuous miner, you have a choice. You either get trade qualified or you specialize into equipment operation. Both are serious paths. Both pay well. A qualified diesel fitter or electrician working in a Queensland underground mine earns between $38 and $46 an hour, plus site allowances that can add another $5,000 to $8,000 a year. On a 7-on, 7-off roster, that translates to a gross income somewhere between $95,000 and $115,000 annually for a tradesperson with a few years of mine experience. The same qualification at a suburban workshop pays roughly half. The continuous miner operator sits at the sharp end of coal production. This machine, a rotating drum studded with tungsten carbide picks, cuts the coal face and loads it onto a shuttle car in a single pass. You operate it by remote, standing back from the freshly cut roof, watching the gas monitor while the drum chews through the seam. The cut roof is unsupported and undecided. You move fast and you move clean. Operators at this level in the Bowen Basin earn between $100,000 and $120,000 gross per year on standard rosters. Longwall operators, just the crews running the automated coal face systems under hydraulic shields, earn toward the top of that range and beyond it on overtime rosters. The machines they operate cost more than the houses most of them grew up in. In Australian coal mining, the deputy is the statutory official responsible for the safety of a section on each shift. The role has no direct equivalent in most other industries. To hold it, you need a deputy's certificate of competency issued by the relevant state mining authority, and earning that certificate requires years underground, a formal examination, and demonstrated competency in mine gases, ventilation, roof control, and emergency management. You pre-shift examine the section before the crew enters. You test the atmosphere for methane, carbon monoxide, and oxygen. You inspect the roof and the ribs. You measure the air quantity moving through the section with an anemometer. If anything is wrong, the section stays out. Production does not start. You sign the examination record with your name, your certificate number, and the time. Deputies in Queensland and New South Wales earn between $130,000 and $155,000 gross per year, depending on experience, roster, and enterprise agreement. The responsibility attached to that figure is real. If someone is injured or killed on your section during your shift, you are one of the first people the Queensland Mines Inspectorate or NS Resources Regulator wants to speak to. You stop thinking about tonnage first. That shift happens somewhere in your second or third year in the role, and it changes how you read the section forever. Above the deputy sits the undermanager, and above them, the statutory mine manager, the holder of the highest certificate of competency in underground coal. In Queensland, this is the first class certificate of competency, underground coal. It requires a minimum of 5 years underground experience, extensive formal study, and a rigorous examination administered by the Department of Resources. Mine managers in Australia carry legal accountability for the safety and health of every person on the mine. They are named in legislation. When things go wrong, and in Australian coal mining history, things have gone catastrophically wrong, the mine manager's name is in the report. The pay reflects the weight. Statutory mine managers at mid-tier operations earn between $180,000 and $220,000 per year. At major operations, a large Bowen Basin longwall or a significant Hunter Valley open cut, the figure moves higher, sometimes considerably. You don't sit in this chair without scars, not physical ones necessarily, but you've seen a roof fall, you've been on the phone when the gas alarm went off on a section, you've written incident reports and sat across the table from a family. The coal keeps coming out of the ground every day regardless. Your job is to make sure the people sending it up come back with it. At the top of the operational structure sits the general manager, running the mine as a business asset. Below the board, above the manager. This is where coal becomes a balance sheet entry. The salary range here sits between $250,000 and $400,000, plus bonuses and long-term incentives for the major producers. And then there is the level you don't climb to, you buy it, or you inherit it. The operators who own the scale, the royalty streams, the port allocations, the rail haulage agreements, the equity stakes in multiple operations, these are the people for whom coal is not a career, but a capital position. Australian coal is not a small industry. The country exports roughly 350 million tonnes per year, making it one of the world's largest exporters. The royalty payments flowing to the Queensland government alone exceeded $3 billion in a recent financial year. The money that flows to the people who own the mines at scale is not modest, but the men and women who actually extract it carry something the owners cannot acquire. They can read a roof in the dark. They know what a drum sound changes when the strata shifts. They know which side of a ventilation split turns bad in a door failure. They have signed their names in examination records thousands of times, and every name on that page means a section that went out safe and came back safe. Go back to the bag of heat beads. The same black rock glowing orange at a campsite outside Mudgee is the rock that powers a state grid and funds a royalty check and sits at the bottom of a superannuation return for every Australian with money in a diversified fund. You didn't choose the rock, but the people who go underground to get it made a choice every single shift. And the most important number they ever tracked wasn't the tons per shift figure on the production report. It was the count of people who rode back up the drift at the end of it. If this kind of career breakdown is your thing, subscribe and turn on notifications. There's more of this coming. Like the video if it's worth your time. It genuinely helps.